All right, it's your friend, Dr. Emmanuel O. Adige. Yeah, I'm coming your way today with another exciting teachings. This teaching is coming after several questions and people coming to me and asking me several questions. Oh, you were working before, now you are not working, now you are in business. So tell us, what do you think? How is it going? All right, so I need to answer your question with this section today. If you are one of those persons who has been contemplating quitting your job to start a business, yes, I have an answer to your question today. All right, you want to stay with me on this section and we are going to take a ride together. I may also be sharing with us some of my journeys and some of the things I experienced quitting the 8 to 5 job to start a business. To tell you that it's easy, it's just to trick you into jumping from maybe a 10-story building and without any lifeline. All right, that's what it means when I tell you that it's easy. But however, just like the title of this broadcast today says, don't quit your job to start a business. That's really look like, what was he saying? He quits his job and he started a business and he's been there for over 5 years or 4 years plus now. And he's saying, don't quit your job. So what do you have to say? All right. So we're going to be looking at it together. I wrote here several factors to consider before quitting your job for any business. I don't care to know how viable that business is. You want to consider these factors. And I'm not telling you this because this is not a theoretical thing for me. This is my personal experience, and it's something that I've also seen with several entrepreneurs who quit their job to start businesses. And some of them, when I listened to them, some of them, especially when I had difficulties and I went to them and they gave me some advice, and I'm going to be giving you some of this advice today, and you're going to do yourself a good favor to stay true to the end of this broadcast today, because I'm going to be giving you several points on what to do at various stage before you want to say you're giving that resignation letter to your employer, so that you don't want to go back again. All right. There was a time where, I was almost tempted to go back. Yes. My wife pressured me. A lot of persons were around me. You still have a certificate. You are a CMIO. Come on, man. Just go and get a job. After all, the business can still be running. But something kept me on. It was determination. All right. All right. The first thing I write here is financial stability. All right. Before quitting your job, ensure you have enough financial stability. Listen, it is not a joke. All right. You want to ensure you have enough, especially when you have a family. All right. You want to make sure you have enough financial stability. But again, financial stability is relative. All right. What will stabilize your family may not stabilize my family. So it depends on what our expenses are like. It depends on what we do at every given time. So you want to make sure that you have enough financial stability to support you and potentially your business for an extended period. All right. Beyond, just the time you think, oh, maybe for 3 months, for 5 months, for 6 months. No, you want to make sure that it's for an extended period. All right. This may involve having a savings or financial safety net. All right. You want to have a financial safety net. You want to have a cash, a place where people want to use the word literally, fall back to something where you want to, when you're already into the business, something that will be able to help you create a cash flow. All right. And another thing again you want to check, all right, though I didn't write that here, but I will just say that to you now. All right, it's just free from me as I speak. You want to make sure that the business has cash flow. All right. But if the business is not having probably a daily or a weekly cash flow, then you want to look for something like a side hustle that will have a daily or weekly cash flow, so that no matter what happens with your main business, you'll be able to get a cash flow to keep your family or your home running. All right. So the next thing also you want to consider before you quit your business is the business viability. All right. Yes, there are several businesses. There are a lot of business all around the world. There are business everywhere. In fact, there is a lot of business to do. But you want to look at the viability of this particular business. And viability also is a bit relative, because you want to also look at it with regards to what is obtainable at a particular time. All right, the business that is very viable now may not be viable in another 6 months. So you want to look at how, the durability of this business. Apart from the fact that the business is viable right now, how long more will the business be viable? Is it just something that just comes up? And what about one government policy, and it put on the business? What's going to happen to me? So before you quit your job, you want to make sure that, listen, the business is viable. It has a lot of viability. It's something that, yes, I am sure I've done my own personal visibility on. And if you don't have enough street credibility, assessing the viability of the business may not be a very easy task for you. When I say street credibility, I'm talking about you must have had a level of experience having to be in the business either way, whether you were working with somebody, were assisting a brother, assisting a friend, or you did it part-time, or however, you must have had a fair share on how business runs. Okay, so that's going to help you. That's going to give you a level of experience to be able to assess how viable the business is. I must tell you this: sometimes everything you write down as your business plans, by the time you go on implementation stage, everything becomes zero. Like it doesn't work in real life. You just find out that the A to Z that you wrote on how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, when you're hit with real situations, some of this book work may not really make sense anymore. I might say you shouldn't do the book work. No, you must do your book work. You want to check, you want to make sure that you do your due diligence. But while you are doing your due diligence, you must understand that reality will always set in. And when reality sets in, if you do not have, a level of street credibility, you may not be able to sustain, the level of shock that's going to come from, the business. So you want to check how viable is this business that I am going into. All right. Assess the viability of the business idea. Conduct a thorough market research. All right. Thorough market research here, I'm not just talking about you getting a good research companies or a marketing company to do what's this business like, or what's the location to do it. All these are good. Got a lot of business planners to get that done for you. But I'm also talking about where you want to move your instincts. All right, because of what you know, because of what you've learned over time. All right, so that's very, very important. Create a solid business plan and consider seeking advice from mentor or industry expert to guide you on potential success. Listen, you're not going to take away the role of mentorship when it comes to getting into business. All right, before you want to jump out from your profession, I want to get into business, you want to have you want to have people to mentor. You want to have people there who you could actually look up to, industry mentors, personal mentors, people you could look up to and say, this is what I'm doing right now. What are your take? What do you know about these things? All right, you don't want to take away the role of mentorship. It's not, you can't do without a very good mentor when you want to do it, especially on the industry that you are going into. You need somebody to take you by hand and help you through the deep waters. So because you're going to have them, you're going to have the waters, you're going to have shallow waters, you're going to have deep waters. So you need a mentor. You need somebody who's going to take you by hand. Somebody's going to tell you, listen, this is not the decision to take. This is what to do. This is not what you should do at this time. That is why you need, industry experts or mentors to guide you. You don't want to join into a business because you just have the capital. You're able to build up capital or do some research about the business online and you're like, oh, I can do it. After all, every other person is doing it. Yes, I love your courage. But before you take that decision, you want to make sure you've done your visibility study. You want to see how viable this business I'm going into is. All right. The next one you want to consider is passion and commitment. Yes, passion and commitment. Starting a business can be incredibly demanding. I must tell you the fact. It can be very, very demanding. In fact, as a matter of fact, there are going to be times where you want to quit. It's going to get a time where you feel very lonely. It will seem as if the whole world is against you. All right, but you want to make sure that you are doing a business that you are passionate about, a business that you are passionate about, a business that you on your own, this is something you would like to do, this is something you will want to do. All right, so when you have that level of passion for the business, what happens is that when you are faced with this pressure, or they are going to come, or we face with the challenges, they are going to come. It's not optional, they are inevitable. The challenges in business are just inevitable. Pressure are going to come. Challenges are going to come. The reason why you want to quit, you may want to even quit the next day and let go of everything. All right, you're going to feel that way at some point. All right, but you must have a level of passion that goes beyond, just having to do the business for survival. You must have a passion that will be able to drive you, that even when you don't feel like waking up to go to the business or to go to your office that day, that passion will wake you up. Another thing I must tell you why you are looking at a passion for the business is you must also understand that as a businessman, you may not be working 8 to 5. As a matter of fact, you cannot work 8 to 5 and succeed in business. There's no way you're going to succeed in business. Sometimes you're going to work 12 hours. Sometimes you're not even going to have your sleep. You're going to lose your sleep to it. All right. So you want to definitely be sure that this is something that you can give up your sleep for. This is something that you can actually go to any length to making it work. All right. So you want to check your passion for that business. You want to ensure that it's a business that you are passionate about. Starting a business can be incredibly demanding and stressful. Yes, I use the word stressful. Assess your passion for the idea and your commitment to seeing it through. All right, you want to make sure that you are committed to ensuring success at the end of the day. So you want to see through the business. You want to assess that commitment from day one, even before you start. Ask yourself if you are ready, to weather the challenge, that will come in entrepreneurship. Definitely, they are going to come. All right, it's not optional. It's not seasonal. You're going to find a way. You're going to find out that they're going to come again and again. And you think the last one was the last time you are going to have it, but you're going to find out again that just after you had one storm, another one is coming. All right, so you want to check your passion. Is it a business that you are ready to stake everything for? All right, until you are able to get to that point, where you are sure that the business is ready for your time, is ready for your rest, is ready to take your night, is ready to take your day, then you want to quit the job for the business. But otherwise, you don't want to quit your job until you can assess your passion for that business and you ensure that it's stronger than even your personal zeal or desire. All right, so you want to work on that. The next thing you want to check out before you quit your job for any business is you want to make sure that your skill and knowledge on the business is very up to date. Yes, you don't want to start a business you don't have knowledge about. All right, you don't want to do that. You want to start a business that your skill on that business, you even if you want to perfect it as the business goes on, I can understand. But to have a zero skill, a zero knowledge about a business, and you're quitting your job to start that business, it may not be a good idea. You don't want to quit your job to start a business that you are not skillful about. All right, because even when everything else fails, your skill will sustain you. Your skill will help you to understand that because when you are a skillful person about a particular business, you will know how to weather the storm. All right, you will know how to maneuver the pressure when they come. But when you are not skilled about a business, it's really meaning everything is going to be dependent on either your employees or who you are going to be working with. That is not a very good way to start. So before you want to start a business, you want to develop your skill on that business. You want to go on training on that business. You want to get trained. You want to get mentorship. You want to get yourself into the industrial society for that particular trade or business, so that you will be in loop of informations. You'll be able to get a connect in case something happens. You get the connect of people to leverage on. You want to check your connect on the business by virtue of perfecting your skill on the business. All right, so consider your skill set and knowledge in the industry you are entering. All right, do you have the necessary expertise? You want to be sure that yes, I'm an expert. You may not be a perfect professional in the trade, but you want to be sure that at least to a level of extent you have a skill set for the business. All right, you know what to do at a certain time, and you want to also be sure that if you don't have those skills, you want to acquire the skill. Like I said, it may be beneficial to gain more experience or education before making that leap. Before you decide to quit the job, you want to be sure that yes, I have a level of skill set that come what may, I will be able to sustain the business with my skill. All right, so you want to make sure you have that level of skill set before you quit your job for any business. All right, the next point here I wrote here is market condition. Market condition. Evaluate the current economic and market condition. Some industry may be more favorable for startup than others, and timing can play a significant role in business. Listen to me. You want to check what is the new government policy about the business. Imagine if you start a business, I don't want to give an example of anything right now, and the government policy comes to say, you know what, this particular product is no longer, going to be used. We've discovered this and that, and for these reasons, it's no longer, a business. You're out of business already. So you want to ensure that the regulation, the government regulation on that business is something that is not going to go out of place, in a short time. Consider the market situation, and you can check with this by going on your local newspapers, or making a single research on the internet. I told somebody recently, I said, listen, even before you go to ask God for some questions, you may just want to check Google. All right, you may just want to check Google. You'll be shocked and surprised that informations are there. All right, so you want to make sure that you make your research. You are sure that the market condition for that business is something that's going to be there for a while. All right, because just immediately after you quit your job and get into the business, and the next week a government policy is there to sanction a business, I'm not sure that you're going to like such decision of you. So you want to make sure that you check what the market condition for the business is. All right, then the next point here is very, very important. As a matter of fact, it's actually what I've been saying, and I keep saying. You want to get a support system. Yes, you want to make sure you have a support system. Assess your personal support system. Do you have the support of families and friends? All right, but sometimes they are not going to come. All right, you're going to find that there are some businesses you will hardly get the support of family and friends at the initial startups. I don't ask me why it's like that. Most times it's like that because no one believes in you until you succeed. All right, people do not want to take the risk with you until they can see a level of success. That is why even when the bank wants to give you a loan, guess what? They will need a collateral. They will need something from you. All right, so family and friends, they are good support system. If you can get them from a startup, they are very, very wonderful. But if you cannot get them, you want to get a support system from anywhere or anyone. At least a system that that you could always rely on. You could run information through. People you could actually look up to and say, what? These are things I want to do right now. What do you think? What is your take on this? Can I run this thing through you? Or you want to have somebody in your life that you partner with as far as progress is concerned. You want to run things through the person. It doesn't even have to be your friend. All right. As long as he has the same interest with you, because this time you are going into a world of entrepreneurship, and all you need is just a stake. You need somebody that has interest, all right, in you or in your business. It does not necessarily have to be your friend. It doesn't have to be even your family member. But if you can get the support of family members and friends, wonderful, wonderful. So you want to get a support system, as you get into the business, because it's going to be tough. You're going to, at some point, you're going to be needing shoulders to lean on. All right. So you want to get that support system in place. Assess support system. All right. Do you have the support of the family and friends? Can you rely on the network of mentors? All right. See that coming up again. Mentors, people you could actually look up to, and they will take you by hand and teach you and tell you what to do at every given time. So you want to make sure they are there for you. All right. You want to make sure you have advisors or fellow entrepreneurs for guidance and assistance. You cannot do it alone. All right. You cannot do it alone. The local proverb in Africa that says a tree does not make a forest. So you can't do it alone. You definitely need, a chain of people. You need support system. You need people who believe in you. You need people who are going to look on you and say, you know what, this thing you are doing right now, yes, it's fine. And when you're also doing it wrong, they could also look at you and tell you, no, you're not doing it right. At this point, you need to do this, you need to do that. They could actually give you a point, all right? They could tell you what to do, all right? So this is where the support system is very, very important. The next thing you want to look at is risk tolerance, all right? Risk tolerance. What is your own personal risk tolerance, all right? What is your tolerance level? You want to assess that. Otherwise, taking a leap from the world of an employee to becoming an entrepreneur is not a small leap. All right. So you want to check your risk tolerance. your tolerance of risk. Starting a business often involve a degree of uncertainty. A lot of things you are not sure about. A lot of things you do not know whether they will work or not. All right, so you want to be very sure that you have that level or degree, your risk assessment or your risk tolerance level. All right, the degree of uncertainty, like I said, it's something you cannot even ascertain. All right, there's going to be a lot of uncertain situations, there's going to be a lot of uncertain circumstances, so you want to make sure that you have that risk level to absorb those risks when they come. All right, so it's very, very important you check your risk tolerance when you are getting into any business of your choice. The next one is alternative paths. All right, alternative paths. In this particular business, you want to consider whether the alternative path to achieve your entrepreneurial goals without quitting your job immediately. For me, this is the most important thing. All right, this is the most important thing. For my friend that you are considering starting a business, is it possible you can do that business part-time without quitting your job and it does not affect the interest of your entrepreneur? All right, we don't want to do a conflict of interest at any point. All right, so you want to check, can I start this business or any other business at all? All right, and start just to have the knowledge of entrepreneurship. You want to see how entrepreneurship looks like. You want to start a business part-time. You want to be doing it your 6 to 5. After 6 to 5, you mind your business. All right. When you close from your job, you mind your business. You do that for 4-5 hours. And again the next day, like that. For weeks, for months. And by the time you master it and you are sure that the business is viable, it needs more of your time. Now you want to invest your full time into the business. You don't want to start a business and at the end of the day you regret why you quit your job. A lot of persons have done that. You don't want to do that. All right, you don't want to do that. You want to start a business and just to find out that you can't even put up with your family anymore because you can't pay the bills. You don't want to put your family through that risk because there's a law of uncertainty. So you want to make sure that before you start the business, you've done your personal research, like we've talked about. You've done your visibility studies. You've checked your passion for the business. You've done everything. In spite of all this, is it possible to do this business part-time? If it is possible, why not consider that option first? So that you put your 4-5 hours into that business after your normal day job. Like I said, it mustn't conflict. It shouldn't conflict. In fact, it should never conflict with your primary employer. Otherwise, that would be a breach of law. So you don't want to do that, all right? Because you got a contract with your enterprise. But whatever is not going to conflict with them, whatever is not going to affect, the business hours or business time or whatever business, interest that they have, you want to see how you want to start the business without having to, quit the job, but you're doing it part-time. And when you do that, you're going to find out that you can actually, master the business skill on time. And you scale through. And once you've been able to scale through, for a few weeks and months, okay, you want to quit your job because you are already sure of how the figures are running in your new business. So don't quit your job until you are sure, you've actually looked at, this point, we've just considered. The next point here I want to look at is your exit strategy. This is very important. This is very, very important. All right. Yes, your exit strategy. All right, you want to put yourself in a condition where if it doesn't work, I can easily go back to my job. All right, you don't want to throw away everything. All right, you don't want to bang the door so hard, and when the business doesn't work, it's difficult to open the door again because you didn't use the exit door nicely. All right, one of the ways you want to do that is probably have a nice talk with your boss. To say I'm going on holiday. I'm going to be a long time. I'm considering starting a business. I'm going to be. So if you can get such window of time and you assess the business for that month, for that time, and find out if it is something that's going to work for you, something that's going to be okay for you. And if it works, fine. You could actually then send your resignation letter, depending on what the contract says. But if it doesn't work, you want to quickly go back and say, oh, I just tried 2 or 3 business. Oh, I've lost some money. I've lost some time. Anyway, I've learned my lessons. Because when you lose money in business, you've just paid a school fees for an experience. Yes, it's actually not a loss. But it's an experience that you learn from that is a good experience. So it's not all experiences that people are able to learn from. So you want to take some level of risk that is not going to consume you. All right. So you'll be able to stay alive, to learn from the experience. Okay. So Exit strategy. Think about an exit strategy. What if your business does not succeed? What is the plan? What is the next thing? All right. Some people want to call it plan B. All right. What is the next thing to do? What is the next plan in place? All right. You don't want to put all your egg in one basket. All right. So that when a basket is crushed, everything is gone. No, you don't want to do that. So you want to check what is your exit strategy for the business, just in case it does not work the way it has been planned. Because you just did the planning, and who knows, is it going to work the way you planned it? There's a difference between the book work and the reality in real life. All right. So when you've done the book work, you've done the plans, you've done everything, you may not consider a lot of things while you're doing your assessment. All right. So when those uncertainty comes, you want to make sure you have an exit plan. Okay. What if your business does not work? And that's another reason why you want to put all your capital into the business at once. You want to test the waters. All right. You want to test the waters. You want to see if it's okay, if it's shallow or it's deep. All right. So once that is done, then okay. Once you have been able to assess the waters and you are sure that yes, no matter what, I'll be able to survive it. Okay, you want to put your 2 feet into the water. Have a plan for what you will do if things does not work out the way you've planned them, so that you can also have your peace of mind. But it's very, very important, because when you do not have a plan, all right, you don't plan for bad days, and bad days come, you're going to feel really bad. But when you plan for bad days, you find that you will always have good days. That's the truth. So you want to have those plans in place just in case it doesn't work. All right. It's T.D. Jakes that says, before I go for appointment, I make provision for disappointment, so that when I am disappointed, I don't feel disappointed. That's why I go out with my umbrella. So when it rains, I have a place to hide. So you want to have a plan for yourself. All right. And anybody, you want to take a leap into business, plan the exit just in case it doesn't work. Have a plan B. Have an exit plan. All right. Make provisions for if it doesn't work, what's going to happen. So that's why you don't want to put in everything you've got. You want to put in all your capital into that business. Like I said, you may want to do 1 or 2 side hustles to keep yourself and maybe your family running while you're trying to strive on the business. Ultimately, the decision to quit your job to start a business should be made after a careful considerations, all right, of these factors we have looked at above, and with a clear understanding of the risk and reward involved. Yes, there's a lot of reward involved in entrepreneurship. It's a sweet journey, but it's got a lot of tough hurdles to cross. All right. You want to prepare your mind for those hurdles. You want to make sure that you are prepared. You are well equipped with the information of the industries. You have a network of support team. You have a mentor. You have an advisor. You have a skill set for the business. You have the passion for the business. All right. And you have a plan. All right. Your financial plan is intact. All right. You want to also make sure in all of these plans that we've just listed, you want to make sure you have a proper exit plan just in case it doesn't work as planned. With clear understanding of the risk and reward involved, it may also be helpful to seek advice from mentors or business advisors who can provide guidance based on your specific situations. All right. All we have given here today, all we've listed above and we've given to you here, they are educational purpose. All right. But before you start a business, you want to actually go to a consultant, you're an advisor, business advisor. You want to go and seek. All right. You want to be sure that you get it from an expert. All right. So please do not quit your job to start a business unless you've done all we have listed, or even more of what we have listed in this video so far. Thank you so much. I will encourage you to subscribe to this channel. This is one channel that is going to inspire you. All right. The channel again is Emmanuel Inspire TV. You want to follow this handle on Instagram, Emmanuel O. Odigye, same name on Facebook. All right. So you want to follow on our social medias, and we're going to be giving you a lot of values as far as entrepreneurship journey is concerned. And life, we're doing a lot of things on this channel, and we're going to be coming up with a lot of industry experts, and we're going to be having sections with them on this channel. Till I come your way again, I remain my humble self, Emmanuel O. Odigye, saying, stay hungry for success. Thank you.